It feels like one for winning your opponent does not matter at all in Modern. There's just so many better things to be doing that unless you're playing the scam package, you're not going to get anywhere. And we showcase that where opponents just not playing Grief whatsoever in their mid-range package. And with us abusing cards like Shelldock Isle, our opponent's just not going to get anywhere if we just start throwing mill spells at their face. Enjoy. Opponent taking forever to start their game. I've done this before. Maybe they just didn't realize the game did not start, but that's okay. Shelldock Isle off the rip. Put Archive Trap underneath. Hopefully we don't get Blood Moon down. No ley lines. No pre-game action. So we're not facing up against one of the menaces of the format. Oh no, are we about to get scammed? I think we're about to get scammed. So we're going to lose our Ruin Crab, which is fine. We'll just Shelldock again. I don't think this deck has... This deck doesn't have Mainboard Leyline. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I think this might be a game of aggroing out a bunch of spells because we can hide some stuff under Shelldock. And if we can get them relatively... Honestly, if we can set up some win conditions underneath these lands, we should be relatively set. And I think that's the power of this. Just getting away from discard. Ooh, they take the Fractured Sanity. Interesting. Okay, well, in that case, what I'm gonna do, Polluted Delta. I'm gonna set up a Polluted Delta, right? And I'm gonna do this now. So I'm gonna fetch Shock. Believe this is scam. Yeah. So what this allows me to do is stop the inevitable 2-drop. Right? They have to play some type of threat here. And are they going to think that we drew a Fatal Push? Probably not. So we're going to be able to stop that pretty efficiently here. Fatal Push on that. That's fine. And I fetch Shock for this opportunity so they can Fatal Push my Crab. I get my value out of it. That's perfectly fine. I don't think I need to be playing Jace on 3 here. I'm happy to play it. Okay. Bloodstained Mire, they want me to fetch, or they want me to Archive Trap on my turn, or... okay. So I can Archive Trap them. This takes them down to 31 cards. Right? Then... honestly, I'm so close to enabling the Shelldock Isle and essentially going for the win here. So I'm going to go Shelldock Isle and Fractured Sanity, I believe, because we're just going for the win. That's all this is really about at this point. We're just trying to set up win conditions underneath our lands. And then we're just trying to top deck our way through. So they're playing some amount of green, but largely this is scam. Yeah. So they're going to fetch. We're not really going to have an answer to a 3-drop here, but I don't know what 3-drop this deck is playing outside of an enchantment. Yeah, okay, so they don't know we have the Fatal Push. Right? And so I'm trying to kill this right now. That way my mana's a little cleaner on my turn. Yep. And we're going to play a Snow Covered. We're going to play Jace. Right? They don't have a counter spell for this. I'm straight up just going to -15 them. Remove 5 loyalty counters. Just -15 them. And here's Shelldock Isle just really shining here. If we can live next turn, each one of these lands underneath us is a win condition. Our opponent didn't... I will say this, though. Our opponent didn't really pose a threat. So this was a pretty clear line in terms of how we win this. So, I don't know. Yeah, the opponent can't do anything to win this game, I don't think, other than play Blood Moon. I don't even know if they would be playing Blood. Maybe they do, in all fairness. So, we're just gonna cast this. Yep. Cast without paying its mana cost. Yep, Fractured Sanity, that's the way the cookie crumbles. So this looks like, yeah, it looks like just scam, splash. There's actually, this is more so mid-range, it's not even scam. There's no reanimation. It's kind of just mid-range. Okay. A little bit better of a scenario for us, but still going to be tough game regardless. So I think Stern Scolding is going to be good. Probably Crypt Incursion to keep us going. We're going to be dealing with some life loss, so Tasha is going to be pretty bad, and Spell Pierce is going to be unoptimal. I think this is the way we want to play it. There's definitely cards that we want to extirpate. Cards like Orcish Bowmaster is, you know, Questing Druid's like whatever, it lets them go, like Orcish Bowmaster's Ragavan, cards like that. But I think if we can counter, you know, one or two, we're on the draw too, so we're not gonna. Stern Scolding's a little worse, but that's fine. I mean, the way we drew it up there, that's generally how we want to play it. So let's see what happens. Opponent making some decisions. Yeah, this hand doesn't have the turn 1 Fatal Push. What does our opponent do? They begin with 7, we begin with 7. Why not, right? Living La Vida Loca. Ooh, no Ragavan on turn 1. I'll take that. That's fine. So they'll take our Hedron Crab, and actually they may take the Drown, but we'll get a chance to Preordain here. And we can kind of play around the... See, I say play around the Blood Moon, but I don't know how much this deck actually wants to do that. Yeah, so they'll take our removal, which is fine. That's great. A Fatal Push is very welcome. I will Preordain if they want to dash into Ragavan, sure. Okay, so we're gonna go put on top. So I'll draw the land. I actually don't mind the third land here based on how we're developing, and I'll hide the Stern Scolding. That'll be available for next turn. Stern Scolding is going to be able to counter a lot here, so that's gonna feel pretty good. No non-creature spells, but that's fine. So Ragavan dashed in, that's fine. I'm not too concerned. So they'll take the Stern Scolding off the top. It's fine. That's why that's there, right? That's why that's there. They can take they can take that all they want. We're gonna go Hedron Crab. If they want to burn a Fatal Push on this, that's fine. Yield. All right, and then we'll pass through. Hitotsugu consumes all. Seems good. Seems good. If they took our Stern Scolding, that's perfectly fine. Let them develop their mana. And I don't mind passing through here. And if they have a removal spell for it, making them use mana on their turn, I do not mind at all. Okay, let's go to their beginning of combat. Right. So make them commit the attack, right? That way. Fatal Push. Right. Yep. Ragavan stays in there. Okay. So let's let this trigger go off. Let's let these triggers go off first. We're doing a lot here, honestly, in terms of just raw damage and mill. We are getting a lot off right now. Definitely going to throw a Fractured Sanity at your face because you're probably going to fetch, yeah, and I'm going to be able to archive trap. So this is 27 cards that you're losing this turn. Yeah, it's 27 cards that you're losing this turn. You're at 10 cards left in deck. What is your win condition? What is your win condition? It has to be like kill Crab, Shieldred. Oh lordy lord, opponents. Oh lordy lord, that's not how you win this game. It needs to be kill Crab and then Shieldred. Magus of the Moon is fine. Okay, so non-basics, but at least our land drops still mill, so that's okay. So they still have the treasure token for their black spells, and I wonder if there's any fatal pushes. Wonder where they're at with that. So they can play an Orcish Bowmasters off this mana, which is a bit of a concern. Orcish. So there's still one more. No, all their Orcish Bowmasters are gone. Their fatal pushes, though, seem kind of plentiful. Okay. All right. And there's like one more rag event. Just trying to keep track of some numbers and what I need to play around. So no need to play around Orcish Bowmasters, which is nice. Opponent thinking. Opponent thinking. Okay. I do love that. I'll say that. I am a big fan of that, because that pretty much seals this game. So we're just going to get that trigger off before we preordain, just in case they have some type of interaction, like removal. That is really good. We're going to preordain here. No Orcish Bowmasters to punish us. That is hilarious. So what we can do here is... let's go put on top, draw the Ruin Crab, play the Ruin Crab. Because I don't think they can kill all of these. And there is like a world where they... I mean, there is a world where they play like Hitotsugu Consumes All and wipe my board completely. So obviously in this case, I could have gone for the win by preordaining first. I was a little worried that they might start throwing in some removal. It was probably just a low chance opportunity. Definitely could have just won here. I don't know how they come back from this, honestly. So I think this is fine. Yeah, I think this is fine. We'll block here. Right? Yeah, I don't know how they necessarily come back from this, but they can. They can. They have plenty of black sources too. I'm at 13 life. They can't do 13 damage in one turn. Not their deck. They have 2 cards left. They could definitely, like, if they clear the board here, they definitely have a good chance of winning. And I'm kind of playing into like a second copy of Hitotsugu here. I didn't really need to. Yeah, I am kind of playing into a second copy of Hitotsugu here, but I milled over 2. Sorry, a third copy. I feel like this deck would only be playing like 2 in the sideboard. If they play a third, sure. What are the Orcish Bowmasters? Okay. All right, and they're gonna kill it. Okay. And they're gonna kill this crab. Oh, okay. All right, so I think we made the right choice overall. We definitely could have just won last turn though, so that's fine. So we're gonna top deck a land here, and what's hilarious here is it's our basic swamp, so gets around the Magus perfectly. So mill 3, and that's the beauty, right? Midrange. I mean, like, midrange is one of those things where, like, hey, Shelldock Isle is going to be big against this deck. You just gotta play around like the Magus and having removal for it, but you saw how it kind of sealed out that game. Like, they just did not have the interaction for it in here. Like, without scam, it's so hard for this deck to really get anything going without like the whole grief thing going. So all right, GG's.